This time I'm going to take a break from the regular episodes, and I'm not going to teach any new commands for processing, but we're going to do something different. We're going to try run our programs on Android phone. So if you have a look up here in the top right corner of processing, you can see there's a button that says standard. If you click this button, you have two options. The second option is called Android. If you just click this button, the color changes. It becomes a little bit green. And the help menu here changes also a little bit. So let's have a look at here at this website says processing for Android wiki. And we get to this page where most things processing on Android are explained. I'm not going to tell you every step. This you will have to do it on your own. You should really read this introduction here, this about processing for Android, and follow these instructions that explain how you have to install some programs that come from Google. This is Android SDK. So you have to follow the installation guide and the steps down here. And I'm going to assume you have downloaded everything that is required and it's already working. So in this step, I assume you have the Android SDK already installed in your computer. And I'm going to plug the USB cable that goes from the computer to the phone. And then I'm going to change two settings in the phone. I'm going to activate debugging. So I'm going to go here to the menu button. I press here settings. Then I go to applications and development. And I'm going to activate the USB debugging. It's the first option. You have to click OK on the confirmation. Then I go back and I also will click stay awake. What this does is the screen will not turn off. So that's just better for me recording here, that I don't have to turn on the phone continuously. So now the phone is just connected and I'm gonna go back to our editor. So now I can just go here and type very simple program, ellipse, width divided by 2, height divided by 2, width and height. Just a one-line program that makes an ellipse. And notice I'm not changing the size of the screen, because when you're running processing on Android, the system already knows what's the size of your screen on your phone. So I'm just gonna click run. It will start doing some stuff here on the bottom. You're reading, you can see these lines here that is working, and it will take a few seconds. The first time you run this, it takes a little bit longer. And I made a little mistake. I'm running now the emulator. I'm gonna close this because this is not what I wanted to do. If you go here to sketch, you can see there's two options actually. When you press the display button or when you hit Ctrl R, you run the program in an emulator, which takes much longer to start. And you can run it on the device. That's what I want to do, is Ctrl Shift R, or also you see if I hold the Shift key, the button changes. It becomes run on the device. So I can shift click the play button. And now this will happen faster and it will suddenly start the application on my phone. And there is my circle. So it's working. Let's make some very simple animation. Void setup and void draw to animate. And I will set a background color, a black background color, and a color mode of HSP, hue, saturation, and brightness. And I will draw lines, line somewhere on the screen. So I'm gonna use a random x position. Float x equals random from width. So a random position between 0 and the width of the screen. And then I do the line from x0, which is somewhere on the top border of the screen, to x height, which is somewhere on the bottom of the screen. This already would fill the screen with colorful, well, not colorful lines because I'm not changing the color. I'm gonna set a stroke and a random stroke 255. This is the hue. and then a fixed saturation and brightness. So I will get very bright colors. And you have to remember always to run on the device if you want to see it working on your phone. I hit Shift and I click here play, and it's now we will see it launching on the phone again. It takes about 10 seconds on my computer and my phone to start. And there it is. There we have the screen filling with colorful lines. I'm gonna use this fade out effect we mentioned in some previous episode, where I set here the fill color to black and low opacity 10, and then I create a rectangle that goes from the top left corner of the screen to the bottom right height, and that's it. Now I shift click on run. Let's see now the effect on the phone. And I think you can see that it's really fast. The phone is drawing at least this kind of effect. Maybe if we would do much more complicated programs, then it wouldn't run so fast. But at least drawing some lines is pretty smooth. Maybe you can notice on the top left borders there are some blinking lines. That's because I'm leaving, when I draw this rectangle here, I have a stroke. So it's using a black color with low opacity, but it has a stroke color, which is this colorful line. So I should use here no stroke if I want to get rid of that. I shift click again and I wait for 10 seconds, and then the program is running again on the phone. So now we got rid of these top left borders on this animation. So you have seen how easy it is to run the Android application, at least when you have the Android SDK already installed, like I did. And you can do pretty cool stuff with programming on Android, but you will have to read the documentation. You can, for example, track the phone sensors, so you can control your graphics just by tilting your phone in one direction or the other. But I will leave this for future episodes and for yourself to discover.